Disney's Moana, Chapter 12. As the sun sank toward the sea, a sprinkling of stars began to appear in the east. Maui lifted his thumb and forefinger up at an angle and sighted along them to one of the twinkling lights. Dipping his other hand in the ocean, he brought it to his mouth as if he was tasting the waves. What was he doing? Moana wondered. Can he really tell anything from the taste of the water? We go east, Maui announced, to the lair of Tamatoa. If anyone has my hook, it's that beady-eyed bottom feeder. Moana had no idea who Tamatoa was, but she couldn't help bouncing excitedly in her seat. They had a plan. They were off to save the islands, to save Motunui. Yanking up on a line, Maui raised the sail higher, and Moana had to dive to the floor to avoid the boom as it swung sharply over her head. The wind pitched the canoe to the side, and Maui leaned his weight back to counterbalance it. He seemed so in tune with the boat, the sea, the wind. Moana edged closer. This was her chance to watch an expert wayfinder at work. Craning over his shoulder, she mirrored his finger movements as he tied off the sail with a complicated knot, trying to commit them to memory. Suddenly, Maui turned and, finding her only inches from his face, startled, nearly falling backward. "Teach me to sail," Moana said, an eager shiver running through her. "Wayfind, princess," Maui said curtly. "What I do is called wayfinding, and it's not just sails and knots. It's seeing where you're going in your mind, knowing where you are by knowing where you've been." "First, I am not a princess. I am the daughter of the chief," Maui shrugged. "Same difference." "No," Moana insisted, but Maui cut her off. "If girls want to wear your dress, you're a princess," he said, lifting his hand to wave off any of her objections. "You are not a wayfinder. You will never be a wayfinder." Picking her up, he set her purposefully in the cargo hold next to Hei, as though she were nothing more than a pest to be contained. Moana frowned in annoyance and was about to protest when she heard something slap against Maui's backside. The demigod twisted to see what had hit him, then swung his head to glare at the water around them. "Really?" he asked. "Blow dart in my butt cheek?" As Moana watched, Maui crumpled to the deck. His eyebrows scrunched and he frowned menacingly at her. The rest of him was paralyzed, but he could still move his head. Grinning, Moana clambered out of the cargo hold and used the oar to leverage the demigod up and onto the outrigger. "You are a bad person," he grumbled as his face smushed against the poles holding the outrigger together. "If you can talk, you can teach," Moana said cheerfully. She plopped down in the stern and beamed at him, oar in hand. "Wayfinding. Lesson 1. Hit it." Reluctantly, Maui began to tell her what to do. Thrilled to be learning, Moana didn't even care that Maui's mentoring style was hardly supportive. "You are literally going backwards," he snorted as she struggled to steer the boat toward the sunset. Raising her hand, she tried to follow Maui's instructions about how to sight angles. "You're measuring stars, not giving the sky a high five," Maui said, his tone mocking. After she dipped her hand in the water, Maui told her, "If the current's warm, you're going the right way." "It's cold," Moana said. "Wait, it's getting warmer." Maui started to laugh. Realizing he'd been playing a trick on her, Moana quickly pulled her hand back, shaking it off. "Oh, gross," she cried. Still chuckling, Maui told her to untie the halyard. "Not the halyard," he called out, as she tugged the wrong rope loose. She moved over to another one. Nope, 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 no. Maui chided her as she hovered over different ones. Finally, at the right one, Moana picked at the knot holding it down. But as soon as the rope was free, the wind whooshed the sailcloth full and the boom swung out over the water, dragging the rope with it. "Get the rope!" Maui cried. Lunging, Moana was able to pin down the end of the rope before it went overboard. She pulled it back slowly, hand over hand, fighting the wind with every tug to swing the sail and the boom back over the boat. She was definitely going to get blisters, but she didn't care. Meanwhile, the canoe was rocking more and more. With a swoop, the outrigger was dunked under the water. Maui sputtered, coughing out water as he resurfaced. "Maybe I should try to teach the chicken." "Well, your tattoo thinks I'm awesome and he's better looking," Moana said, winking at Mini Maui. The little guy smiled smugly at Maui. "Tattoos can be removed," Maui muttered darkly. With a wicked grin, Mini Maui began waving his arms, drawing the attention of Hei. Thinking he was some sort of bug, the rooster raced over to the moving tattoo, and Mini Maui darted around Maui's skin, goading Hei into pecking Maui. "Not the face! Not the face! Not the face!" Maui yelled. Once the boom was level over the boat, Moana wrapped the rope around one hand to hold it steady, and she used the other to lever the oar into the water. "Let's see," she thought. She wanted the boat to go to the left, so she swung the top of the oar that way. Oops! The canoe skidded to the right, straight into the choppy waves. Moana gritted her teeth. She would do this. She thought of her ancestors' boats in the cavern of Mount Nui. It was in her blood to do this. Quickly, she shifted the oar back the other way, and the canoe turned, riding the waves more easily. Peering at the sky, Moana realized she needed to adjust their course. She gently released the rope slightly and inched the oar to the right. Yes! As the stars shone down on them, Moana strained to keep the canoe at just the right angle, ignoring a spasm in her shoulder and an itch on her ankle. After a while, it became harder and harder to stay awake as her muscles complained and her energy drained away. She shook her head to clear it and repeated her mantra over and over. "I can do it. I can do it. I can do it." She would prove it to Maui and to herself.